Lashpreneurs. Last month, I had a somewhat radical shift in my life, mainly in my mindset and the beliefs that I had from a coaching retreat that I went to for a coaching program that I'm a part of. So I wasn't really fully aware of how powerful those 2 days of this retreat were until I got home and really started just implementing everything that I learned both on a subconscious level and a conscious level. And so when I was thinking about today's episode, I was thinking about what from that retreat can I share with you guys that I feel would be the most powerful. And the theme that kept coming up for me that I felt called to share with you was the work that I did around money that I think would be hugely impactful on you, because I see the messages, I see the emails, I hear the conversations around these limiting beliefs with money, especially when it comes to business or personal finance, all these heavy emotions and heavy beliefs that we have. And so I think what I'm going to share with you today on today's episode about what I did, the work that I did to move past some of those limiting beliefs, is really going to be beneficial to you. So my coach, I've kind of stumbled across him about 20 months ago. And he's a multiple seven-figure, almost into the 8-figure realm business coach, and basically like a mindset ninja, which is why I'm so drawn to him and why I feel he's different than so many other business coaches out there. And he coaches online course creators, digital entrepreneurs, on basically how to run an online business, but also how to become a better entrepreneur. So a lot of my mindset stuff that you guys have heard me talk about on the podcast really is because I've done that work myself through his program, that I am then taking what has shifted for me and sharing it with you guys. So that's, again, what we're going to cover today when it comes to money, because that is something that I knew going into 2019, the beginning of the year, that this was something I wanted to tackle. I have always had this belief that I'm irresponsible with money. And so I really wanted to get a hold of my finances, so to speak, or get in control of my finances, because I believed that I wasn't in control of them, whatever that means. I believed that money was used for manipulation and control just based on my experiences with it. And a lot of that stems from my relationship with my dad. And my dad has always worked since he was 14. That's just the story that he's always told us, is that, you know, he's been working since he was 14, and he had his first apartment complex when he was like 22 or 24. And, you know, he was like the most financially stable person out of all of his friends and whatnot. So money has always been a very big focus for my dad. And so growing up in that environment, he was also very scarce with money, and that he tried to hoard it, and he was pinching every penny. And that to me was the example of, quote unquote, being responsible with money. And that's what that meant. And that is not how I treat money. And so for me, being a little more free, again, quote unquote, with my money and with the money that I bring in, made me feel like I wasn't being responsible with it, because it wasn't what I viewed as responsible, which was how my dad handled money. So this belief that I'm irresponsible with money is something that has held me back a lot. It is stuff that beliefs I brought into my marriage that really didn't serve us, because my husband and I, we tried to do a budget once early on in our marriage, and I got so mad at him, we have not done it since. And that's been over a decade now of us not having a budget. Now, I don't recommend this for a family, especially when you have children and like a mortgage. And so it was like part of this, I want to feel more confident about how I approach money, that this retreat really helped me let go of some of these beliefs that I had around money that weren't serving me. So my husband and I, since that retreat, have sat down, made a budget. We didn't fight once. We've talked about it multiple times since then. And I don't feel icky about money anymore because of the work that I did at this retreat and this discrediting of this belief that was holding me back. So moving on to how this kind of came to be, how this limiting belief was just poofed out of my head. And so first thing I want you to consider is that everything is a belief, and that there are no absolutes or truths, that every single thought you have is based on a belief that you created. Now, some people are not that self-aware that they understand that what they think they actually have control over. They look at their experiences and their reality and define that as, well, this is true. Like, this is my circumstance. It's not a belief. This is actually what's happening. But even the belief that your circumstances are your reality and that it's not something you can change is a belief. The belief of that I was irresponsible with money was causing me to never create a budget because I was looking at evidence that I was irresponsible with money, meaning that I couldn't see that the investments we were making were good, or that I was making a lot of money and so we were able to spend a lot of money at a certain point, that talking about money with my husband would be difficult, hard, would result in a negative conversation, would result in a fight. Yes, I had some evidence of that in the past, but I wasn't looking for the positive sides of money. I was only looking and thinking that money is hard for me. And so I was finding evidence of money being hard and proof, quote unquote proof, that I was irresponsible with money. But since going to this retreat and realizing that everything we think is a belief, we can choose our beliefs. We can choose to continue to think those thoughts, or we can make different choices that actually serve us to move us forward into what we want. And that's what I want for you today. Think about it. It's kind of mind-blowing sometimes if you can really grasp it, but think about something that feels negative or icky to you, or something that you're struggling with. What is the belief that is tied to that struggle? What is the belief or the experience you had that then formed your belief to cause you to struggle with this? Maybe it's a toxic relationship. Why do you feel that you have to stay in a toxic relationship? Maybe some of you, it's that you don't want to hurt the other person, and that you believe by staying in the relationship that it's actually better for everyone, even though you're the one who's still struggling and unhappy, that their happiness is more important than yours. That would be a belief. For those of you who think business is hard, where is your evidence of that? Who in your life told you that business was hard? Or is that your experience of it? Or are you looking at social media thinking that's what business should be and what I have is not that, therefore business is hard, or it's hard to get to that level? That is a belief. Belief that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm the go-to expert for business. That is a belief based on your experiences. If you've taken what I've taught you in this podcast and you've seen positive results in your business or in your life, you are going to believe that I am a trusted authority to listen to. Thank you for that. I believe it as well. However, it is just a belief based on your experiences. I teach what I teach because I believe it's information that is needed by this industry. I believe that having a business coach really can help you cut down the learning curve of growing a business to get you the results you want faster. But that is all a belief. For some people, that doesn't happen. For some people, they believe that they're meant to be business owners when in reality, they are not great at it and they don't actually enjoy it. I would say most lash artists, and again, this is just my belief, I would say most lash artists aren't actually meant to be business owners of a very large business or just beyond more just a solo lash artist. The belief that even adding on staff is going to give you more time is just a belief. Because if you get into the reality of it, it's very hard to get more time when you have a staff. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's what you choose to believe and how you choose to run your business. But for most people that I've talked to who have brought on staff, they actually have less time than when they were a solo lash artist because they are responsible for more money, more people, more clients, all that. So everything is a belief. There are no absolutes when it comes to, any thought you have. It's a belief based on an experience you have. We come into this world having two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of something else that I'm totally blanking on at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Fear of falling is one of them. Everything else that we learn from birth on is a belief based on an experience or what somebody else has told us. So the second teaching point that's going to help really take this home is there is no good or bad. Good or bad is a belief. It's our moral compass that we assign the term good or bad to in order for us to know and make decisions in our daily life. So, eating junk food every single day, that's bad. Not everybody feels that way, but some people think it's good because it's convenient, and some people think it's bad because it's not great for your body, but that's all beliefs. Good or bad would be pre-made fans versus pro-made fans. Some people think pre-made fans are the evil of our industry, but that's just a belief, because some people think like, why wouldn't I use something that I can be faster at and provide the same result as, instead of having to hand do it? Which one's right? There is no right or wrong. It's just a belief. Some people don't think that the big chunk of lashes coming off a strip is volume when there's more than one extension on there. But who's to say volume is perfectly symmetrical fans? That is a belief based on an experience you probably have with the trainer and other people's opinions in our industry. Volume was a name that somebody came up with and titled, whatever it was, volume, like the 4D fan is, a volume. That is a belief. And so we kind of get on our high horse of like, I know best, this is what's true, you're wrong, I'm right. But really, none of us are right or wrong. It's just a meaning that each individual, based on their experience, assigns a definition. So that our ego, our mind, our sense of survival, our sense of right or wrong of what we define it, helps us make decisions easier to make our life easier. Because if we didn't have a moral compass, it would make the world really scary. Because if we didn't have a moral compass, who else doesn't have a moral compass? And how many people are out to hurt me, kind of a thing. So when we assign our own moral value on things as good or bad, it helps us to survive in the world. But the thing is that you created the good or bad. So if you think money is good or you think money is bad, that is a belief. Some people think that money is the answer to all their struggles, and that if they just had more money, they wouldn't have these same thoughts, feelings, and struggles. Some people have money and think this money is not solving my thoughts or struggles. Think about all of the well-known, wealthy, famous people who have marital issues and who have suicide or addictions, but they have all the money in the world. So it's just a belief that money, more problems, like that's one belief. Another one is if I had enough money, I wouldn't have problems. So is there a right or wrong? No. But here's the thing, because you created that belief in your mind based on a set of experiences, you also can control it, and you are empowered to change it if that belief is not serving you. So if you feel like business is hard and that keeps you from learning more, or you just, all of your energy is going into business being hard, how is that really moving you forward? If you choose to believe that business is easy, or that clients are easy to come by, or there's enough clients to go around, how might that show up differently in your life? How might you see evidence of that belief just as much as you saw evidence of the negative belief? And that leads me to the final teaching point, is that what you focus on, you get. And I've talked about this in a past episode where I was like, tiger, 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 tiger. Don't think of a tiger, and all you're thinking about is a tiger. It's the same thing for your brain. If you are constantly thinking in your head, I am irresponsible with money, then I am going to see evidence of me being irresponsible with money, because my brain is trying to justify that it knows what's going on in the world. So I have this sense of control over my reality. So if I created that belief that I'm irresponsible with money, I can change it. And I have. And that has been the most freeing thing for me over the past couple of weeks, is I've changed my perspective on money to choose to see that I'm responsible with money. We bought a house in 2010 when the market was low. We sold it in 2019 when the market was high, and we got an incredible return on that investment, that we were able to purchase a bigger house and have money left over for savings. I'm choosing to see that as that was a responsible move with money. Well done, Tara and her husband. I also choose to see that we are not blowing all of the money in savings, and that we actually want to keep that money there. And we're choosing not to have some rooms in our house furnished, because that money in savings and that security that we feel with that money in savings is more important to me than decorating a living room that nobody uses. So those are ways in which I have shifted this narrative of I'm irresponsible with money, and money is meant to use people or manipulate people or be a source of control, to feel like money gives me freedom, and money flows to me like a river. It's coming in, it's going out, but it's always coming back in, and it's always going back out. So there's no need to feel scarce about it. There's no need to feel worry about it, that I am empowered to make more money if I feel like it's getting scarce or I'm heading down that path. But it's my mind and my beliefs that I get to change to serve me, so that I don't keep being held back. For decades, this money story was holding me back. I was constantly reliant on my parents for their money. I was self-sabotaging different money things so that I would always have a connection to mainly my dad, to have that money relationship with him, because that was so important to him. So I felt like our relationship was solely based on my need and dependence on him for money, so that he could feel like he was providing for me, and that was his role in his life, was the provider. It got very icky when I, got into a marriage where all of a sudden my husband is supposed to be the provider and I'm still relying on dad. And then there's my husband who's like, hey, like, we're good, we don't need them anymore. And then all of a sudden I start making more money than my husband, so no, I'm the provider. But there was a lot of stuff and a lot of meanings I was making up around money and income and finances that I didn't feel like I had a healthy relationship with money. Now, since kind of going through these 3 different things of everything is a belief, there is no good or bad, right or wrong, and that I get to choose what thoughts I think around money. If they're not serving me, I get to change my thoughts. And it has been unbelievably freeing. Like I said, we've created a budget. I am so in abundance with money. I mean, every time I worry, like, ooh, are we getting low on money? I just think about a river flowing, and that it's money coming in and money going out. And there's never a need to feel scarce or worried about money, because there's more coming in, and I am in power and in control of the finances, and that I'm responsible with money. So to wrap up, I'm going to give you 5 money mantras that I want to challenge you to use over the next week, and just see how they feel, and just see how your perspective shifts. And I want you to start identifying evidence of these mantras. Okay? So mantra number 1, money flows easily to me like a river. So repeat after me, if you're not lashing at the moment when you're listening to this. Money flows easily to me like a river. Go ahead. Mantra number 2, I am deserving of money and living in abundance. All right. Mantra number 3, I am grateful for what I have and what I've accomplished so far. I am good with finances and empowered to keep learning more about it. And your last mantra, my success is inevitable, and every challenge I face is happening for me, not to me. And let me repeat that again. My success is inevitable, and every challenge I face is happening for me, not to me. Okay, I do want you to write these down. I'm going to say them over real quick, so now that you've said them out loud, you can write them down real quick. Money flows easily to me like a river. I am deserving of money and living in abundance. I am grateful for what I have and what I've accomplished so far. I'm good with finances and empowered to keep learning more about it. My success is inevitable, and every challenge I face is happening for me, not to me. And try those on every day. Every day you're having a negative feeling. Every day you're feeling scarce about clients or how your business is running or the money in your bank account. Go through these mantras. Even just if you don't believe them quite yet, the more you say them again, the more you focus on, the more you get of that. So to kind of sum this up, my most popular video training is back. It's coming back really soon. And we do talk about money inside of this free video series. So this free video workshop, we call it Your Best Year Ever. It starts on September 23rd. And so you can register for free. You will learn the 3 ways to make more money in your business, where to focus your attention to grow your business, and you can forget about the rest. The step-by-step path successful Lashpreneurs take to go from overlooked to fully booked and beyond. And then the number 1 way that you can create the business of your dreams easier and faster. This workshop is totally free to join, and the videos will be available for a limited time starting September 23rd. If you'd love to join me inside of that workshop, go to thelashpreneur.com/bestyearever and register for free. And yeah, we will dive more into beliefs, strategies, tools, and how to grow your business. So I'm wishing you wealth and abundance. Have a good one.